Welcome to my channel. My name is Ashley and I am super happy to have you. In today's video, we'll be working on some affordable Easter DIYs. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and let's get into the DIYs. The first project today, I will be using this wall hanging shelf from the Dollartree. Then you got a couple of options for your O's, an H&P from Walmart. The bunny and the 2 eggs are from the Dollartree. I filled the holes on the shelf and painted it with Waverly Antique Wax. Then here I am painting the H&P with the lavender from Waverly, but I lost footage. I do end up changing my mind because I didn't like the way it looked. The bunny is also painted with Waverly Elephant color chalk paint. I did add that pink buffalo check and then some twine to the top using hot glue. Oh, top and bottom. Next, I made a bow using that same pink buffalo check ribbon for the little bunny's neck. I'm just shaping it, and it was just a regular shoelace bow. And I'm just showing you that the struggle is real with making these bows. Like, I do struggle. Then I dovetailed the ends and tacked it down with that hot glue. Here's how it looks, styled in my little Easter decor. I loved how it turned out, and I hope you guys like it too. DIY number 2 is going to be using this round wood piece from Walmart, but I know Dollar Tree carries things like this as well. I just took the label off, removed that staple, sanded it down a little bit, and then we're going to be staining it using Minwax dark walnut. This is an oil-based stain. I start off by, of course, putting on some gloves, and I use a cheesecloth little piece of it, and just rub that stain on as evenly as possible in the same direction. I don't know if that's a thing, but that's what I do. And then I rubbed off the excess and dried it using my heat tool because stain takes a long time to dry. Once that stain is dry, then I went in with some Rust-Oleum chalk paint in the linen white. My chalk paint was turning gray in areas, and I think that was due to the stain not being all the way dry, and I think my chalk paint was messed up a little bit. It may have froze. I don't know. It was pretty thin and kind of watery in that it wasn't its normal consistency. Anyhow, I liked the way it turned out, and so I left it, dried it, sanded it down a little bit to blend it out, and then we're going to add some Mod Podge. I am going to use a brush to put a thin layer of Mod Podge on this wood round. One, to seal it, but mainly because I'm going to add some vinyl, and Mod Podge will help it stick. When you use stain, sometimes your vinyl don't want to stick. So I dry the Mod Podge, and then I'm going to add some transfer tape to my wording, and then add it to my sign. When I designed this in Design Space, I didn't design it for this particular wood round. I designed it for a square sign, so I'm just adding my wording in sections or pieces. So I center the Farm Fresh towards the top, and then I'm going to put carrots towards the bottom in the center. And then underneath that will be 25, and I don't end up using the word cents. I just used a sticker with the cent sign, if that makes sense. Next, I am going to paint some carrots using pumpkin from Waverly for the carrot part, and fern, I believe, for the leafy part. once those carrots are dry, I'm going to add them to the middle of my wood round. I went ahead and done a dry fit first using that craft stick to get a straight, even placement. I don't like measuring things. Usually I just do it by eye, you know? So just use some hot glue to glue on them carrots, and next we're going to add some greenery and a bow to the top. I did go ahead and paint another carrot to add to the middle of the bow. So I just used some hot glue and stuck that in the middle, and here's how it turns out. I hope you guys like it. This is one of my favorites. I don't know. I just like the look of it. DIY number 3 is using some of them same little wood carrots from Dollar Tree and a frame from Dollar Tree that I just took the little clip out of. I used the pumpkin orange and Rust-Oleum white chalk paint to paint and decorate my little carrots. I just painted 3 orange, 3 white, and on the tops of them, on the orange carrots, I used fern. On the white carrots, I used the moss color. It's kind of hard to see on camera, but anyhow, I used the bottom of a paintbrush and put white dots on the orange carrots and orange dots on the white carrots. I'm so sorry. My puppies are playing right where I'm trying to record. So if you hear the puppies, the kids in the background, it's just life. I'm sorry. I'm sure you guys understand. Okay, once those carrots are dry, well, okay, I did dry brush the tops of the carrots with, oh my goodness, the moss goes on the dark fern color, and then the fern color goes on the light moss color. The frame, the galvanized piece on the frame was a little shiny, so I did put a little thin coat, my gosh, I cannot talk, on the frame, let it dry, and then we're going to hot glue the carrots on to that galvanized frame piece. Before we glue the carrots, go ahead and glue the frame and the back piece together. Then we're going to dry fit our carrots, of course, first. I do end up liking this way, the vertical way, better, but here's the horizontal. You could do it either way, but I liked the other way better. Then just use a little hot glue to glue your carrots down. Then that's going to be it. That's all to this DIY. Very simple and very cute. Okay, DIY number 4 uses this printable that I will be sure to link in the description box. And this plaque that I got from Walmart, but like I said, they have these at Dollar Tree as well. I used some Waverly Antique wax to do the outside edges and the whole back. You can just do it all. I just didn't do a little portion in the middle, but not for any reason, just because it's going to be covered. Just rub that wax on, and I covered the whole back to make it look finished, of course. Then Once it's dry, we will use some Mod Podge in a thin layer because I did print this out on cardstock, so it would be a little more durable. Just put a thin layer of Mod Podge all over your sign and stick your printable down to the Mod Podge, leaving a thin line around the printable so you can see the stained wood. Get all the air bubbles out, press it down so you know it's adhered completely. Then we're going to do a thin layer of Mod Podge on the top. Just be careful, do a thin layer, work fast, because sometimes you'll get a little bleeding, and as long as you do a really thin layer, or you can even seal your image with some hairspray before you add the Mod Podge. I use my heat tool to dry it. I also just dry brushed it a little bit with some of that Rust-Oleum white or Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint. This one was really simple, really fast, and it was really cute. Our fifth and final DIY. Today we'll be using this canvas from the Dollar Tree and an Easter color your own bunny also from Dollar Tree. I start off by starting to cut the canvas off and realize I wanted to just remove the staples anyways, but you can do it either way. Removing the staples gives a more finished project. So go ahead and remove those staples and the canvas from the frame. Using some large jumbo craft sticks and hot glue, I created a back for the frame. I glued them craft sticks completely down the frame, then turned it over and used an X-Acto knife or utility knife to cut off the excess. Be sure when you're cutting this excess off, you are very careful and you're using a cutting mat and a sharp blade, and that will give you the best result. Just be careful, please. We don't want any accidents. I then went in with a coat of Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint all over the sign, around the edges, all of it. Once that is dry, I took this metal plaque I got from Dollar Tree and marked where I wanted to put it with my pencil because, you know, hot glue, you don't have a lot of mess around. You don't want to make a mess. It's particular. You want to put the glue in just the right spots. So once I got that hot glue where I wanted it, I then returned my plaque where it was supposed to go. Nice and easy. Then I took that color your own bunny, flipped it over, and painted the back with a coat or so of this celery green chalk paint from Waverly. Then I took hot glue and glued that bunny down right in the middle of the plaque. I glued down a twine bow. And I went in with the moss and glued that down in sections. Be careful with this too because it will burn your fingers. The hot glue comes right through the moss. I didn't wear my finger protectors because my nails was too long for me to work correctly in them. So yeah, just be careful. Then I cut down that moss, any, flyaways. And I took this chicken wire ribbon I got from Hobby Lobby. I stapled it into the back of the sign. I only done one side. Then I took these eggs and painted them with the Rust-Oleum chiffon cream chalk paint and then glued them in each corner. If you are still watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Please don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And thank you very much for your support. So once those eggs was glued in, then I put some little greenery in there. This is the boxwood greenery from Walmart, but you can use anything or nothing at all, whatever you like. Then I flipped it over and stapled the other side. Once that was stapled in good, I cut off the excess chicken wire with my 10 snips. Be careful, this stuff will poke you. And put a bead of hot glue down on the, on top of it and glued a little piece of craft stick down so it wouldn't be all pokey and scratchy. Once you have that craft stick on there, this DIY is done and this video is over, and this is how it turned out. I hope you guys like it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe, you guys. Trying to grow, I'm back. I haven't filmed a video in quite a while, and it feels so good to be back, and I promise I have some great content coming for you guys. Some great community involvement in this crafting world. So please be safe, and thank you so much for your support, and please don't forget to come back. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Leave me in the comments below if you see that little bunny that is supposed to be upright and it has fallen over in all the videos and pictures and I didn't catch it. Leave it in the comments below if you see it.